When you think about Great Old Broads for Wilderness, what's the first word that comes to your head? For me, it's bold. We were started by these 5 incredible bold women, and over time, we have been led by incredible bold staff, board members, council of advisors, broadband leaders, and many other countless volunteers. It's one of the things that holds us above others, that we're not afraid to stand up for what's right. We're not afraid to be that voice for our wild public lands and our wild places across the country. We at Broads will always continue to be bold, and that is something I want us to embrace and be excited about. I'm excited for what is to come for us in the future as an organization, and I want to say thank you to every single person who embraced that broadness as a state of mind and has made us who we are today. And I cannot wait to see who we will be in the next 35 years. Happy anniversary, Great Old Broads for Wilderness.
Hi, John Hickenlooper here. Wow. Congratulations on 35 incredible years protecting our pristine wilderness areas. Happy anniversary, Great Old Broads for Wilderness, and keep up the good work. Onward and upward.
What do I love about Great Old Broads for Wilderness? Hi, I'm Shelley Silbert, and I approve of this message. I love Great Old Broads for Wilderness because it is full of the most remarkably passionate women who are wild about public lands and willing to work their butts off to protect them. I love the passion with which this organization strives to get out and do the hard work it takes to protect wilderness, to ensure that the management of our public lands is done according to regulation and done appropriately for the ecological health of our lands. And I love more than anything being part of an organization that values fun and laughter and knows how to have a good time. Great Old Broads for Wilderness is an invaluable organization that I would like to see survive forever as long as there are wild public lands that need to be protected. I love the work that we do. I love having been and being a part of Great Old Broads, and I love wild public lands. So keep up the fantastic work. Love you all, and I am thrilled that you're going strong, that we are all out hiking and loving our public lands and working for their protection. And I hear in the background some thunder that is definitely approving as well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Happy anniversary, Great Old Broads for Wilderness. 35 years. Wow, that's impressive. I'm Rose Chilcote, a longtime member and staff member for 15 years before I retired as associate director. I was one of the few staff people who had the privilege of working under 3 different executive directors. MB McAfee hired me in 2001, and then I worked side by side with Ronnie Egan for a decade after that, and then with Shelley Silbert before I finally stepped away at the end of 2016. I am still involved with the organization as a member of the local chapter, the Broadband here in the South San Juans, and have a lot of fun getting out with the gals and guys and doing monitoring of livestock impacts on our local national forests. Part of the crosscut saw crew that goes into the Weminuche Wilderness and other designated wilderness to clear trees that have crossed the trails. So And we do fun hikes and advocacy and all sorts of other good work. I'm really happy to see Great Old Broads thrive over the years and solidify as the powerful national organization that it is, but still true to its roots, mostly advocates who are volunteers, ladies of a certain age mostly, and fierce women unafraid to speak truth about what's happening on our public lands. So keep going, Broads. You're doing it right.
Hey, Great Old Broads for Wilderness, happy 35th anniversary. I wish I could be there with you to celebrate this time around. It does feel like just yesterday when we were in Boulder, Utah, celebrating the 30th. I had an amazing 4.5 years with the organization working as the Grassroots Leadership Director. Every day I got to work with thoughtful and skilled coworkers. And every day I got to be inspired and humbled by women leaders all over the country who were oftentimes coming off of very big careers, impressive careers, and choosing to spend their spare time with the Broads. So I cherish my time with the Broads, and I am trying to sprinkle Broads magic every day wherever I go, because once you catch that bug, you don't get rid of it. Have fun, everyone.
Happy anniversary, Great Old Broads for Wilderness. I'm Klaus from Germany, and I have been hanging around with the Broads for 30 years. Yeah.
Hello, Broads. I'm Liz McCain. I'm the leader of the Whales of Teton Valley, Idaho, and Wyoming chapter of the Great Old Broads for Wilderness. I'm just back from a bike ride around our beautiful valley. You see the Tetons back there. Whales are known for their fun. I know fun is one of the pillars, one of the 4 pillars of Great Old Broads for Wilderness, and we have that down to a science. We bike and hike every week in the summer and ski all winter. But because we spend so much time out of doors here, we appreciate the value of having public lands all around us, and we spend a lot of time taking care of those lands, and it's important to us. So we're solitude monitors, and we help with taking down fences so wildlife can pass more freely, and we're helping to build some bridges along our trails, and those are literal bridges, but we're also building figurative bridges too. Something I learned at Walt's training from the Great Old Broads was about building a community map, I think it's called, community mapping, forging relationships with our Park Service, with our National Forest staff, with other nonprofits that care for the environment here. And I appreciate so much the training I've gotten from Great Old Broads and the people I've met. And here's to 35 more years. Happy birthday, Great Old Broads.
Hi everyone. I want to wish Great Old Broads for Wilderness a really happy 35th anniversary. What a wonderful excuse to get together and celebrate 35 years of accomplishments and remember particularly our founders, that wonderful group of creative, ambitious, dedicated women who saw a need and set about fulfilling it. And everyone who's come after that helped forge a path forward. These women, as we do now, know that there is strength in numbers, and it's a whole lot more fun that way. So let's look back, let's look forward. Let's give out a big old yoo-hoo, roll up our sleeves, and tackle the next 35 years.
Hello, wonderful broads. This is Antonia. I had the most incredible experience as a member of the board some years ago. I learned so much about wilderness and felt so satisfied working to support the various areas of wilderness, as well as hike them, look at them, photograph them, dream about them. I offer my support and congratulations to the new crew and to the ongoing success of Great Old Broads. Thank you so much.
Happy anniversary, Great Old Broads for Wilderness. Your 35 years reminds me that I have a daughter who's 35 years old too. You all are amazing. It's been such a joy to work with you. You do the work of conservation staff and getting to know the issues and doing place-based education and really sharing your knowledge with others and making a huge difference. Here's to 35 more fantastic years.
Hello, my name is Marilyn Price, and I am one of the founding members of the Great Old Broads. I'm wanting to tell you a story about being a Great Old Broad. It's called it's a true story about the bears among us and being in the wilderness. When spring is upon us, it means the snow is melting off the trails and the days are getting longer. All kinds of wildlife show up and come out of hibernation. Ducks and geese, other birds, as well as bears and their cubs. And the Gila Wilderness in southern New Mexico offers something special: wolves in the wild. So, my hiking buddy Susan Touche and I look forward to the first big hike of the year in 1999, a 5-day backpack trip into the Gila. We went 3 miles the first day, and we have a total of a 35-mile trek from Snow Lake down to the confluence of Turkey Creek and the Gila River. Susan and I became friends back in the mid-1970s when each of our daughters went to elementary school together in Santa Fe. We took many hikes together. The Wind Rivers of Wyoming, Colorado 14ers, Escalante. And then, as I explored a career in working with people with disabilities, Susan ventured throughout the West, becoming increasingly involved in jobs with environmental groups and advocating for preservation of public lands. In 1989, Susan broke loose from her job and formed the Great Old Broads for Wilderness. It had one of its first gatherings in Nederland, Colorado, followed by one the year later in the Utah Canyonlands. It was a once-a-year event. We took hikes, camped, made meals together, talked about what we could do to address the need for wilderness and our desire for it. For years, that was it, an annual gathering. No paid staff, no publications, no fundraising. When Susan and I began our hike in the Gila, she was about as prepared as me. Sleeping bag, food, weather gear. We were to share a tent, but no cell phone, no GPS. We had one goal in mind on this hike: to see a wolf in the wild. By the second day, we'd covered 14 miles and we reached the Gila River Basin, called it a day, set up our tent, got our food out, and then a sound from across the river we heard, and I saw a bear coming out of a cave, and the next thing you know, another bear was approaching it, and they started making growling noises, swatting at each other, until they looked at us and started coming down the cliffside towards us. It's amazing how fast you can take down a tent, bundle it in your arms, and rip your way out of there. We ran back up the trail for about a mile, and as we went, we noticed we passed a dead deer, and that we had set up camp between the bears and their meal. We made it a safe distance, spent the night taking turns doing shifts of being awake by our campfire. And as we left the next day, coming out of the wilderness near Snow Lake, what did we hear? But woo! The sound of wolves in the wild. So, Susan and I knew each other until she died in 2015. She was the founding member of the Great Old Broads, and she inspired me, as she should others who are passionate about the wilderness and inspire each other to want to go there and get things done.